So Krishna is so pleasing to look at and to hear his names. It's just a matter of staying in contact with the spiritual sound vibration. This is the recommendation of Rupa Goswami, who gives us the essence of all advice. Tanama Rupa Charitari Sikirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasanamana Niyoja Tishtan Vraje Tananuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayeda Akilamiti Upadesha Saram. The essence of all advice for advancing in spiritual life is to stay constantly in contact with the names, the pastimes, forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that way one will purify the heart and come to live in Vrindavan Dham, follow in the footsteps of one of the Lord's beloved associates. So we're following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. Thank you. And Rupa Goswami used to sit in a place called Ter Kadamba. And it's in Vrindavan, it's a forest. Vrindavan's a forest, right? Vrindavan. It's a forest it's a jungle. Yeah, we should get lost in that jungle, that's the idea. And there's a place where Rupa Goswami used to sit and do his bhajan and also write his books. And now, sitting here in this jungle in Massachusetts, we can also be in contact with Rupa Goswami by distributing the books that he wrote on palm leaves there. Over 500 years ago, they wrote on palm leaves, and those palm leaves were transcribed and turned gradually into printed books, and now we have them mass-produced. So this is the family business. This is what the saints do. They leave behind them all this instruction. Twayam bujaksha kila satvadamni samadhina veshita chetasaike twat padapotena mahatkritena kurvanti govatsa badam bababdim. And it's because of these instructions left behind us by the saints that as we take them to heart and follow them and adjust our lives according to their instructions, this is what the verse says. Twat pada potena mahat kretena. These instructions are great instructions because there are many good causes in this world. If you stop anyone on the street, they'll tell you they have a good cause. But we don't want to miss the great cause for the sake of all the good causes. And so this great cause, mahat kretena, means to follow the instructions of these great saints. And when you do, then the ocean of the material world shrinks down from an ocean size to the size of the water contained within the hoofprint of a calf. Vatsapadam. Little calf makes an impression in the mud. And how big is it? It's about that big, and it fills up with rainwater. And there you have it. You can step right across. So this is the greatest welfare activity, to give this knowledge, to take it for oneself, to adjust one's life according to these instructions. The essence of all advice is given in the Nectar of Instruction, written by Rupa Goswami there in Ter Kadamba. And now we have those books available to pass on to others. And this is the great cause, to take it oneself and to pass it on to others. This kind of service, this kind of seva is the highest seva. Who says so? Lord Shiva says so. Tapyante lokatapena sarava prayasojana parama aradhanam tadi purushasya kilatmana. Lord Shiva, just before he drank the ocean of poison at the request of all the demigods who were afraid of their destruction and the destruction of the universe, because when they churned the ocean of milk, out came Kalakut poison, deadly poison that was threatening the whole universe. And Lord Shiva, being so merciful, being a great Vaishnav, he voluntarily took it and drank it. It didn't affect him, though, too much. His throat turned blue, and therefore he's known as Nilakanta. However, before he drank it, he told everyone, tapyante lokatapena, the highest service that you can do to Krishna, to the Lord who's within everyone's heart, parama aradhanam, that means the highest service, is to take voluntary suffering for the sake of the suffering of others, to give them an opportunity to come out of that suffering once and for all. That is the highest service. Tapyante lokatapena. Sadhava prayasojana. So, following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami and the great acharyas, reading their instructions, and then paying our debt to them by distributing their books and giving everyone an opportunity to educate themselves as to the purpose of life and to come back home, back to Godhead. This is the greatest service. And there are many ways to do that. Just now we have a window of opportunity where we have books. And the world's in such a condition that we can actually go out pretty much anywhere. Some countries it's a little harder than others. I was in Vietnam recently, and we were advised not to go out and tell people about Krishna consciousness freely because we would end up in the police station because we are already being followed. Here in Boston, people may look at you, but they're not going to stop you. So you have an open opportunity right now to distribute knowledge as much as you like. Shri Shri Radha Gopi Ballabha Ki Jai. And there are many ways to do it. Here's one way that we invented recently, Bhaktivinoda Thakur Monthly Sankirtan Festival. Just a little background, 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and taught the chanting of Hare Krishna, and he went all over South India, induced people to take up this process, keep this vibration going, and then he told them, become happy yourself, become perfected yourself by chanting Hare Krishna, and then teach others how to do it too. Didn't he say that?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Verily, he and Lord Nityananda, who is none other than Balaram himself, opened a marketplace for the holy name. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur in 1891 reopened that marketplace. Why reopened? Since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago. And after he disappeared from this world, several hundred years after, the message had been obscured. As this world is an enervating plane, as we move through it, things become destructed, they become corroded, people tamper with them, and they fall apart. So it requires some refreshing. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, who lived at a particular time when the English were coming to India and trying to rewrite history. They were trying to convince the Indians themselves that their culture wasn't worth much. And they were doing a pretty good job of it because even the intellectuals of the time began to distance themselves from the Vedas and the Srimad Bhagavatam and many other writings. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur admits that he was among them in the beginning, until he discovered the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After Bhaktivinoda had studied Quran, Bible, and all the other world scriptures exhaustively, and finally he found the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were not easy to get at that time. Are they easy to get now?
Yes.
How much is a set of of Chaitanya Charitamritas?
Small ones.
How much?
Only free online.
Free online? And how much is for a set of books?
150.
Only 150?
Small. Big one.
You're practically giving them away, you mean? 150 for a full set of Chaitanya Charitamritas. Does everyone have a full set of Chaitanya Charitamritas? Everyone who has a full set of Chaitanya Charitamritas, raise your hand. Okay, everyone else see me afterwards. Okay. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he discovered the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and he found that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings were the teachings which could unite people all over the world in the highest philosophy, which pointed to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the jewel, the crest jewel, the Paramahamsa Samhita, meant for the highest attainment in spiritual life, unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. And it was all proved in ecstatic poetry within the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he became so excited about this, but he was alone. He was so alone in this he had discovery. He had no one to help him spread this Krishna consciousness. Even the Vaishnavas, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas at the time, had gone only into profit taking, and they had become lost their reputation, actually, Gaudiya Vaishnavas at the time. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a lone voice, began to stand up for Srimad Bhagavatam and the Gaudiya Vaishnava culture, even amongst all the intellectuals. He prayed for a ray of Vishnu to appear in his family to help him spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And he envisioned a marketplace through which the holy name could be spread all over the world. He wrote about this marketplace, and there were brokers and merchants and chief traders. This is where Amway got their ideas from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He had a whole multi-level marketing scheme set up to spread the holy name of the Lord. And the great souls, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, had kept this vibration, the pure teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the vibration of the spiritual world. They were passing it down. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was that ray of Vishnu, the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who appeared in this world to help spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And he did so all over India. The Gaudiya Math was a huge success. All over India, people knew about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, began chanting the holy names of the Lord. He sent representatives to England. They came back relatively unsuccessful at the time, to Burma and other places. And then, as we know, he passed on his teachings, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada picked them up as his heart and soul, taking a steamship passage on a cargo ship all the way to America. Just with his books, he widened that marketplace, and he spread it all over the world. So the market's open. He said, kindly help me, this is my request. So here it is. Shushu Sho Sharadhanasya Vasudeva Kata Ruchi Syan Mahat Seveya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. When you do service for great souls, you'll get a taste for hearing and chanting about Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada has opened the door, given us an opportunity, and said, kindly help me. Print as many books in as many languages and distribute throughout the whole world. That's the family business. And here's one way you can participate. We just finished this program, and it's one phase is finished, and now the next phase is starting. But here's something we just invented recently. Join, distribute books, build a team, and report your score. And this all takes place through the seventhgoswami.com website, which is an unprecedented revolution in distributing Krishna consciousness all over the world. And how does it work? It works through networking, reaching out to others. You don't have to do it all yourself. You can reach out and build a little team or a big team, as you like, to spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Who's invited? Who can you invite? Who can you tell about this thing? Friends, family, associates, pets? Vaisesika Das, what's wrong with you? Here's the scheme. Merchants, team builders, master team builders. A merchant is someone who registered on the website, distributes at least one book, report the distribution of at least one book on the website. Next step up was a team builder who got 3 more people involved to do the same thing. And the next step was those 3 people each got 3 people. So you got 3 times 3 times 3 plus the original 1. And you're starting to build yourself a powerful little team. And how easy is it to do this, to go up these steps? Through this team building scheme, using the power of 3, 3 times 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 3 is 29,000. It's that easy. How fast you can accelerate and spread 29,000 books around the world. And I'll show you how it just happened recently in the last few weeks. Anyone could participate in this last campaign. We invited people from all over the world. We had 50 countries that reported, 50. Here's a woman on the airplane who happened to be sitting next to Mayapur Vihari, a good person, to Damodar Vamsidhari, who handed her a book as part of the campaign, and she read it all the way to San Diego from San Francisco. And here's some other participants. I'd like to report, happy to report, our goal was to have at least 1,008 participants people who actually distributed books during this last few weeks time period. And we ended up with 1,818 total when the clock stops. People are still registering, though, from all over the world. And here's a few of the participants. We had 248 kids who actively participated in distributing at least one book. And they did a heck of a lot more than that, too. And that's all over America and in India as well. Oh! Pets, here they are. Here's Flicker on the right, and here's Yogi on the left. And yes, they've been fitted with their own special backpacks for distributing books. And yes, they're very good book distributors. People come up and say, hey, what's the dog and what's the book? And off they go. And yes, we did count them as part of the 1,818. So join. There's a website called seventhgoswami.com. And on that, and by the way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day was on the 30th. His nickname is the Seventh Goswami. He was named that by a famous journalist of his time who saw that he had revived Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement in such a significant way. He took it that he was the seventh Goswami, in addition to the 6 Goswamis who were the principal disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here's how you do it. Go to the website, register, and here's the registration form. Just fill in a few pieces of vital information, and then go out and distribute at least one book. That's easy. And you can do it any way you like. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent his books outside of India. Did you know he sent books to McGill University? That book's still there, right? Somebody has it. And Thoreau, Emerson, he sent books out to the intelligentsia of society. So you can do that too. And build a team. That means getting other people involved, family, friends, pets. And here's how you do it. Once you register on the website, you get your own unique dashboard with a URL that is your very own. You see it down here? And you can invite people through Facebook. You can copy this URL and send it out to other people. And when they follow that and come back to the website and they join, they register, they're in your team. And you can build your team as much as you like. And then you'll see across your dashboard, as you build your team, you'll notice how your numbers change. Your team score starts to add up here. How many books, how many people are in your network. So there are the steps. And you also get a place to report your scores and a place to tell your story. And there it is, step summaries. So we completed this project starting May 27th, and it went all the way to June 30th. And now, in a few days, the marketplace, there'll be a new project that everyone who's registered can apply for. One of the projects we're considering is called BAM, Book a Month. So everyone who's there, if you just do at least one book a month, can you do that? One book a month? 30 days to distribute one book. Is that doable, you think? Yeah, so that we're counting on a lot of people each doing just a little bit, the masses of people. And how many people do you know? You could build a network yourself of 1,008 people. So we get 1,008 people getting 1,088 people, and we have some significant numbers, right? So if you need help, we have a live help, staff waiting by their computers and their phones to give you assistance in developing your book distribution team. And there's an administrative number there. Here's your staff waiting to serve you. They're all sitting by the phones, ready to answer your calls or emails at this very time. 24 hours a day, the marketplace is open. Hare Krishna. Now, we'll talk about the importance of book distribution. We have a legacy, and Krishna mentions in himself in the Bhagavad Gita that there's no servant in this world more dear to him than the person who's engaged in passing on transcendental knowledge to others. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's an avatar of Krishna, appeared 500 years ago, predicted that the Krishna consciousness movement, the chanting of Hare Krishna, would spread to every town and village. And here's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates dancing down the streets of Miami, Florida. So it must be true. Thakur Bhaktivinoda predicted that a personality would soon appear to preach the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati came as part of that prediction, that prophecy, a fulfillment of that prophecy. And he gave an instruction to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and that was, if you ever get money, print books. Again, it's our family business. And this is the evidence of Prabhupada's early efforts to distribute books. And this pamphlet that he made to advertise his books was distributed to shops and other people. And it is about India's message of peace and goodwill. So anyone who takes this mission and process, we call an ambassador of goodwill. And you'll notice something about this, hopefully, that will strike you, and that is that Prabhupada mentioned 60 volumes of elaborate English version. And at the time that he was distributing this pamphlet, he had 3 volumes. He also mentions all over the world for scientific knowledge of God. And at the time, he had no resources, he had no connections, no money. He was on his own, and he was envisioning a worldwide movement, thinking big. So he was backed by Lord Chaitanya and the internal energy of the Lord. And anyone who develops this determination to take up the family business will similarly be backed by the power of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Think big. Or think small, but just think. That's the main thing. He had a plan. He really had a plan, and that was by printing books, that it would inject the philosophy into society. And this is really how human society gets changed. It's through literature. In America, Thomas Paine wrote a pamphlet before the American Revolution, and that is what sparked the American Revolution, according to historians. It was such a well-written pamphlet. You can read it. It's online. You can Google Thomas Paine's pamphlet for the American Revolution. And he made such strong argument. In just a short amount of time, that pamphlet was distributed to half of America's population. And they decided what they were going to do, and that was they were going to declare independence. And happy 4th of July, everybody. That's what happened. Because of the writings, the pen is mightier than the sword. When somebody takes the trouble to write something down, to codify it, to put it into words, to put it into books, to get it out to the society, it has its effect. It's systemic. It gets out there. It gets into the culture. It gets into the art. It gets into the music. That's what's happening nowadays. These ideas that are coming from this mass distribution of books all over the world is infiltrating the society, and it will do so more and more. And according to the atmosphere in the world, people will take more or less to the reading of these books, and probably more as things tighten up around the world. People are looking for answers, spiritual life. And those who are very sincere, already seekers, these are lifelines. When they find them, as you all know, they immediately rediscover their purpose in life, going back home, back to Godhead, by reading these transcendental treasures. So that's the plan, and he requested us to help. He wanted us to vigorously help to distribute these books. And when we do this, actually, we have a movement. A movement means somebody's got to move, right? That means you got to move. I have to move. Movement means there's movement. And Sankirtan creates movement because it's the Samyak Kirtan. It's the coming together of all the souls, all the devotees, to glorify Krishna and to spread the movement wider. And you know what? That creates jobs, jobs, jobs. If I'm elected, there'll be jobs, jobs, jobs for everybody. You want jobs? You make a Sankirtan movement. You make a goal. For instance, say if you were to make a goal that in Boston next year we will distribute 50,000 books or 20,000 books. Now, what would you have to do to do that? You'd have to move. You'd have to move your mind. You'd have to move your body. You'd have to move the book room. You'd have to move. All kinds of things have to move. That's a movement. Movement means movement. So that you got to have a goal. You got to be moving somewhere, and you have to decide, we're going to move this. And this, I'm I'm presenting is where to move. Move out into the world and do the highest service by meeting people and giving them an opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita, to read Srimad Bhagavatam. And think big, think in all kinds of ways how to infiltrate society. For instance, there's a group in our community in San Jose that a couple of years back, a couple of devotees came to me and they said, hey, we want to put Bhagavad Gitas in all the motel rooms all across America, just like the Gideons have done all over the world. And I said, go for it. And that's what they've done. Now there are over 100,000 Bhagavad Gitas in motel rooms, and their first goal is to put 1 million. So that... Haribol. That's one person's inspiration, and now it's growing into a big thing. And here's one of the largest proponents of this and who's contributed to it mightily. This is Manish Puri from Houston, who's on his... He jumped on board and helped to steer this to a very high level of success. And now he's moving to India. Boo! No, just kidding. No, he'll do it from there also. I have full confidence. So there are many, many ways to distribute books, but vigorously try for this book distribution and all good things will happen. Book distribution is a kind of sadhana. It's a high sadhana. It's a practice in devotional service. Is everybody comfortable? Please make yourselves comfortable. Yeah. Is everyone okay?
Yes.
You're all fine? Scale of 1 to 10, you're a 10? Okay. Rapid way to make spiritual advancement. When you try for this book distribution, just try for it. Think of it this way, it's a kind of sadhana. Don't worry about the numbers, don't worry about the movement for now. Just think about how you're going to make advancement in spiritual life, and simply by this attempt, you'll get superior strength and knowledge in Krishna consciousness yourself. Every time you think about it, you go out. Just like when Nirkula and I caught a cab to come to the airport in San Francisco from our house. Then when I left the house, I grabbed a few books and I put them in my bag, and it just so happened that the cab driver was a nice guy. And when I gave a book to him as I got out of the cab, as part of his tip, that I felt an overwhelming sense that I had started the day in a significant way. And I was thinking, what if I hadn't given him a book? He just would have driven away with empty. But all the way, as I was getting in line, going through security, I was thinking about that guy in the book and what he might be doing and what the effect the book might have. You see, it's a kind of sadhana. When you distribute Krishna consciousness, when you give books to others, you'll think about Krishna. Prabhupada mentions this in one of his Bhagavatam purports, that this is a kind of practical samadhi, distributing books. You think about Krishna, and when you distribute to others, then you'll think about it even more. Right? Yes. Superior strength and knowledge. Here's our mood in distributing Krishna consciousness. We're instruments. We're Krishna's instruments. You don't have to worry. You just have to go out and be an instrument for Krishna. He'll use you to spread Krishna consciousness. It's not your effort. Just allow him to use your body to do whatever he wants to spread Krishna consciousness. Be an ambassador, an ambassador. Remain humble and hungry. It says stay humble and always be hungry for more knowledge. Don't think, I've attained the pinnacle. Go out for your own self-purification. You don't have to go out for a score, to do anything else. Just go out for the sake of being purified. Do service for service sake. Save one soul at a time, beginning with yourself. That's a good motto, isn't it? I save one soul at a time, beginning with myself. And here's Damodar at the Montreal Rath Yatra. You see, he saw this young man up in his apartment. It was appreciating the Rath Yatra cart going by, and he took it upon himself. This is a second-story window, to climb up on this air conditioning duct. And he distributed a book through the second-story window. Here he's just received the donation, and he's giving him a thumbs up. You see that? But don't do that. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. Everywhere we go, everyone you meet, leave them with a good impression. That's our prime directive. Our prime directive is to leave everyone with a good impression. What is our prime directive? Our prime directive is? I'm not convinced. Our prime directive is?
Leave everyone with a good impression.
Okay. And if I said, leave everyone with a good impression, you'd say that is our? And if you walk out of here today and someone says, what was the whole seminar about? What did you learn? You'll say, our prime directive is? And if someone wakes you up at 1:30 in the morning, they come in your room and they shake you and they say, what's our prime directive? You'll say? Yes, you will. Yes. Leave everyone a good impression. Treat everyone with respect. One who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and sees the Supreme Lord within everything never hates anything or any being. One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks, in quality one with the Lord, becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him? This is the Sri Upanishad. This is high philosophy. And this is the result of that is we treat every entity that we meet with the utmost respect. This is Sankirtan. It means to develop this vision that Krishna is within everyone's heart, and every living entity that we meet, whether it's an ant or whether it's a human being or whether it's Lord Brahma, we see that this person is vital and important, and we should show respect. Of course, there are gradations of respect that we show, but we see that the living entity is the most important thing in this world. Another way to leave a good impression is to offer kind words. People are so abused in this world by insincere or unkind words. And if you just take the time to offer kind words to your spouse, to your children, to your friends, to your temple president, to your neighbors, to the people you meet, just try it. Okay, just try it right now. Just turn to somebody next to you and offer some kind words. Go ahead. Turn to somebody next to you, offer some kind words. A couple of kind words, that's all we ask. Thank you for your beautiful smile and your eagerness always to hear Krishna Katha, and your dancing last night in Kirtan. Now that's how you have a good day. You just go out and give kind words to everyone, or go in and give kind words. Say, today I'm going to offer kind words to everybody I meet. That's just the way it is. I offer kind words to everyone I meet, and that you'll be on Sankirtan. You're on Sankirtan when you're going around leaving everyone with a good impression, offering kind words to everyone you meet, and people will beat a path to your door. After a while, it'll get around Boston. There's some guy going around offering kind words to everyone he meets. And where does he live? I don't know, but I'm going to go find him. We're going to find his address. We're going to his house. We want to find out what he's got in there. And they'll come. They'll start banging on your door, and they'll say, are you in there? And you'll come out and offer kind words. They'll all come in your house, and you'll start your own movement just by offering kind words. And that's Sankirtan. You don't have to focus on any personal scores or results. You develop the habit of expressing sincere gratitude and thanks to everybody that you meet, that you work with. Gratitude is a very powerful force. It is, it's touching the web of the divine as you're experiencing gratitude and offering it to other people. And if you culture that and you expand it, it turns into this all-encompassing consciousness that you see Krishna and the living entity everywhere, and you're appreciating Krishna. Leave everyone with a good impression. Remember, preaching means giving. We're going to give. We have an overflow of things to pass on to others, and that's why we're doing it out of joy, out of happiness, out of an expansion of the things that we have. We're so happy. Like if somebody falls in love, what's the first thing they do? They try to go tell everybody about it, and then everyone says, wait a minute, not so fast. Just keep it to yourself for right now. But that's the nature when you have something so good that you want to go tell everyone. I just won the lottery. Let's call everybody and tell them that. So preaching means giving. It's kind of an overflow of this experience that we're having. Don't be condescending to people. People are wary of this kind of approach that I'm condescending. I know everything. You don't know everything. I'm going to save you or you'll die. We don't want the crusades. We want to be kind friends to others so that they can accept it graciously. Express empathy People are suffering in this world, and Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 6:22 that the best yogi is the one who empathizes with the suffering and the happiness of all the other people in the world. So open your heart, be empathetic to others. Practice reflective listening. This is one way that you can be a kind friend to others, is actually listen to what they're saying. People have things to say, listen carefully, and repeat back to them what they've just said to make sure that you've understood. And make people feel special, because they are. Everyone's special, aren't they? Is there anybody in this room that's not special? What do you think? Anyone in this city that's not special? That doesn't have a history? That isn't part and parcel of Krishna? Doesn't belong in the spiritual world? Everyone's special, aren't they? Shri Shri Radha Gopi Balava ki jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadraji ki jai. Now, if you can imagine for a minute, this is a technique that you can use. And that is that, imagine that everyone in this room has a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel special." Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now imagine that everyone in the room has a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel special." Do you have that in your vision? I'm not convinced. You do? Okay. Okay, so open your eyes. Now turn to the person next to you, or anywhere in the room, and do something to make them feel special. You give them $100. It'll all come back. Come on. Be open. Make them feel special. All you have to do is say, "Hey, you're special." There, some people are giving hugs, other people are giving smiles. That is how to communicate. And you feel the energy in the room? That's the Sankirtan energy. Fun, right? Isn't it good? Now expand your vision. See, it's still going on. It can't be stopped. It creates a chain reaction. Now imagine that everyone in the city of Boston has a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel special." You think they have a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel like a jerk"? Some people think that. They think that everyone has a sign, "Make me feel like a jerk. Make me feel low. Make yourself feel better and me lower than you." Do you think that's what they have? No, they have a sign around their neck mentally. It's a mental sign that's saying, "Make me feel special." And that's all you have to do to communicate with people. That's all you have to do to go out and be an ambassador of goodwill. See every living entity, whether it's a cat. Cats have them around their neck too. See a little cat? Say, "Hey, come here, cat. You're a special cat." You know that? There's no other cat like you in the world. Give him a bowl of milk. A little Mahaprasadam will do well for the kitty. You know, take care of the living entities. That's Sankirtan. It means take care of the living entities. They're the things that's important in this world. We're the service business. This is about service. We're all about service, and improving service is our hallmark. That's what we're looking for, how to improve service. Can you do better service than you're doing now? Or have we just about reached the pinnacle? Your personal sadhana is at the height of what it can possibly be, right? Is it? No, not quite. So there's room for improvement. How about in the temple? Can the temple be, are there all kinds of things we can do to make the temple better, to help each other more, right? So we have a lot of service that we can do. It's open for us. So we have a motto, always better service. It's called the ABS principle. ABS means always better service. And here's a simple way that you can make advancement every single day of your life. After each day, or at whatever event you produce or you're involved in, take a legal pad of paper and a pen, draw a line down the middle of that, and on one side write what went well, and the other side write where there was room for improvement. And just make a list of all the things that went well, and all the things where there was room for improvement. And now you have yourself a project. You have a project. Could your health be better? Could you take better care of your health, do you think? Yes or no? You're at the pinnacle of health? There's nothing more you can do? So what are some of the things you could do to have better health? Yes? Go to bed earlier. So you could put that on your list and you could be a better person, right? And you can improve your service. What else could you do to improve your health? Yes? Wake up early in the morning. There it is. It's in tandem. What else could you do? Go to the gym. You could get some more exercise. You could drink more water. Drink water instead of juice or sodas, things like that. The body's made of water, 85%. I'm just giving you examples. You can improve health. Could you improve your wealth if you wanted to? How would you do that? Good answer, especially in a seminar. Yeah, so distributing books. If you want to be healthy, you got to have a health plan. If you want to be wealthy, you got to have a health plan. If you want to be smart, you got to have a smartness plan. If you want to be nice, you have a niceness plan. And if you can't do all these things, what do you got to have? You got to have yourself a can plan. And get going. Anybody can do this. Just decide you're going to have better service and note down the items that you need to improve on and make them better. And you also have a list of the things that are working well. Make those your stock and trade, the things that you're doing well. Take stock in that you've got something really good going on, that you're doing some good things. And you'll feel happy every day of your life, guaranteed. Now here are the 4 laws of book distribution. Please don't break the law. Stay out of jail. Stay out of court. Here they are. Who will read them aloud? Well, I'll better do it because it's in the microphone. Your sudden... Go ahead.
Your sadhana must be very strong. You must get books. The more you show, the more you sell. You must organize.
Okay, so these are the 4 laws. Your sadhana has to be strict, serious, and sincere. These are 3 words Srila Prabhupada uses over and over again. Strict, serious, and sincere sadhana. Every day, get something from your sadhana, from your chanting, from your reading. Feel something. Get some inspiration from that. Dig deep, beg for it, ask for it, plan for it ahead of time to make sure that you get something from your sadhana. This is strict, serious, and sincere sadhana. Because when you get a taste, this is the most important thing, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his song about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, that if you don't get a taste, your life is miche, which means useless. You're walking around with no taste, what a useless life. Get a taste, and you can do that by strict, serious, and sincere sadhana. Then you have something to distribute, because in Sankirtan we're distributing the overflow. You need an overflow of happiness, bliss. People look in your eyes and they'll see you've got something. You chanted 16 rounds. I want to know what it is. They want the formula. Everyone's looking. We saw on the way to the temple today a suggestion from one of the largest corporations in America of how we can become happy. And what did that sign say? It said, what is it? Coca-Cola. Had a picture of a can of Coca-Cola being opened, and it said, open the happiness. And it had you're opening up a can of happiness. Now that's a concept. You get some sugar water in a can, throw some really bad tasting stuff in it, and then shake it up, and here it is. Open the happiness. This is what's being advertised everywhere, but the real formula is in the spiritual mantras. And if you take this, you'll actually experience this, and you'll actually have an overflow to distribute it, and that's actually what we're doing. Now, the second law of book distribution is very important. It isn't, I don't think, listed as one of the laws of thermodynamics, but I think it should be added to that. Any scientists in here? And that is that you must get books. Please say, you must get books. And the reason is that you can't distribute books that you don't have. I promise you that. So if we go out today for the Sankirtan and we don't bring any books with us, not one book, how many books approximately will we distribute? How many? 0. I thought you said 2. Okay. We'll distribute approximately 0 books. So you have to get books. They're available, get them. There are multiple languages available. Here was a very nice, sweet man that I met in California. That's us standing together. He's from Afghanistan. He's a Muslim priest, a Muslim mullah. And when I met him, I greeted him Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, marhabat kifelak, alhamdulillah. And he came over and he asked me if I prayed to Allah. And I said I did. And he asked me if I did 5 times a day. And I said 16 times. And he gave me a big hug. And he wanted to know what the books were. And I just happened to have a Farsi book, you see? He speaks Farsi, and that's a Farsi book, The Perfection of Yoga. And he was so pleased. He wanted to know where all the other Farsi books were. And I do too. And you see, if you get books in multiple languages, then you can plant seeds all over the world. You can get books in Spanish, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese. And this is our key. Prabhupada said earlier, we saw, print books in as many languages as possible, distribute all over the world, right? It's our family business, isn't it? Is it our family business? Yes. What's our family business? That's right. So get books and take very good care of them. In Toronto, they don't allow shoes in the book room. It's the same standard as in the Pujari room. They have somebody in there cleaning the place, and you leave your shoes outside. It's a sanctum sanctorium. Treat these books like deities, the deities that they are. Now here's the third law of book distribution, which is the more you show, the more you sell. There's a particular aspect of this law, and that is that whenever we see it, we always say it twice. So let's say it. But we always say it again. Because it's so important. People are out looking for Krishna everywhere, and if you just make the books visible, people will walk up and ask you about them. Now, if you take a book out, do you have a book I could take a look at? Did we break the laws? Number 2? What is the number 2 law? We better get books, huh? I don't want to go to jail. Okay, look it. If I go out and they stand on the street, what's the name of the street out here? If I go out and stand on Commonwealth Avenue and I just stand like this and I don't move, what do you think will happen? People come and look at it, you think somebody will buy one? I think they will. I guarantee you they will. In fact, Madhavendra Puri, I heard, he goes out from this temple. This is his technique. He just stands on the corner and he stands like this. He does 60 books a day, just stand there. The more you show, the more you sell. Eventually somebody's going to come up and look at it and see, that's not Coca-Cola, that's something else. And they're going to want to know, and you'll say, pour out the pleasure, it's all in here. Soothes the mind and heals the soul. Thank you. So, make the books visible. Here's one way that some devotees around here are making books visible through the smart box. It just is an innovative way to make the books visible, and there's many, many other ways that you can do it. This is a little on the honor system. Put the box in a store. People can take the books out, put the money in the box, and they're happy to do so. Here's Srivas Pandit behind a smart table on the street, and he's very happy because people are coming over to purchase books. Now, the fourth law of book distribution is you must organize, because you can sell a couple of books here and there if you don't organize, but if you organize, you can conquer an empire. You can take over the world through organization. And using your skills, brainstorming with your group, setting goals, and just get going, you'll find that you can expand your team unlimitedly, isn't it? I can say that I've seen this happen several times recently. In San Jose, California, about 5 years ago, we started with 3 devotees going on Sankirtan, and just recently we've crossed the mark of having 548 devotees go out for book distribution. We started with doing about 1,000 books in 1 year, and now we're up to 80,000 books a year. And that's just through the power of organization. A lot of people each doing a little bit, each just figuring out how everyone can do a little bit through the power of organization. Here is a calendar that we organize at the beginning of every year that shows what are the exact dates that we're all going out together for the monthly Sankirtan festival. That means a fun event where everyone can go out for a picnic, distribute a few books for a few hours, and there's no demand on any individual person. It's all team scores. Everyone can do as much or as little as they like, and through this technique of organization, you can mobilize thousands of people. Everyone's invited for Sankirtan, aren't they? Or just a few people? Everyone can come, and everyone likes to come when it's fun and easy. And book distribution is fun and easy. Please say, book distribution is fun and easy. That is correct. Okay, organize, build teams, empower leaders, create systems. Everyone knows how to do this just from managing a household or the brahmacharya ashram. You know how to create systems. You know how to empower others. Organize things and recognize the devotees. Take time to show special recognition for devotees who are doing book distribution. How is everybody so far? Better than good, I think. You have any questions or serious objections so far? No question? You have question. Any serious objections?